What thermostat should you be using to control your electric underfloor heating in 2026? I'm Jacob from thermoSphere, and today I've got some of the best thermostats on the market to compare. We're going to see how they look, what they do and don't do, and how they stack up against each other. As always, please don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any videos just like this one. ProWarm ProTouch IQ S Series touch button thermostat. Inside we have, okay, so you're met straight away with the thermostat, which is really nice. You've got an LED display on the thermostat and you've got touch response buttons. Let me know in the comments your thoughts on touch response as opposed to clickable buttons. I'd be interested to hear. I feel like people have different opinions on that. You then have a sensor probe. One thing I will say is it's quite frustrating to get on site and open your thermostat box and find out that sensor probes were sold separately. So glad to see, well done ProWarm, that there's a thermostat sensor probe in there. You've got your install screws, I'm assuming that's what they are. And you have your S Series setup guide. The Heatmiser Neo V3. I've had a look at the V1 and V2, but this is my first time looking at the V3, so I'll be very interested to see how it goes. I'll open it up. This box contains thermostat instruction manual to fixing screws, and you have Neo Series quick guide. Interesting, okay. So you've got a one-pager on temperature control, frost protection, or on basically the setup for the homeowner, how to set up the thermostat and some troubleshooting. So you've then also got your setup guide, as you would expect. The thermostat, again, touch response buttons, but the screen as opposed to the ProWarm one, which is LED. Nice, another clean, nice looking thermostat. No sensor probe, I've just realized. This box contains no sensor probe. Interesting, I didn't know that. Okay. WarmUp Element Wi-Fi thermostat. The box is big, to say the least, if you compare it to one of the other thermostats. But I don't actually know. Maybe there's something in here that means the box needs to be this big. We'll see, we'll find out. Let's have a look what we've got. Okay. So what looks like is going to be the guide, the setup guide, is the size of the box. So that makes sense. You've got diagrams, you've got setup. Yeah, it's nice, it's got everything on there. Let me know what you think. Thermostat, so when you lift up, you get the faceplate. Again, touch response buttons, that's interesting. That's largely becoming more common in thermostats. I wonder what you guys think about that. And then if we go further in, we have the back plate. So you have a front and back plate. Sensor probe, well done. Screws. And you also have, I've just noticed, a little screwdriver, presumably for the install part of the terminal, which is really nice. That's a fun little touch. And last, but obviously not least, the Timo thermostat from thermoSphere. When we open up, we are met with Hello Timo quick guide. Now this is a fold-out guide like this. It's got you how to wire up, which sensor mode to use. It's got how to download the Timo app, connect it up to the Wi-Fi, a little bit about zero callbacks for installers, which is part of the thermoSphere tech support. There you go. And now with the Timo, clickable buttons. I prefer this. The reason being that you get a sort of audio and physical confirmation that you've actually pressed buttons, as opposed to sort of just hoping that the touch has picked it up on it. But like I say, let me know in the comments what you think about that. I'd be interested to know whether you agree with me, whether you disagree, what you think. You've got the Timo, you've got the terminal back there, all clearly labelled, and of course, a sensor probe. Absolutely lost without the sensor probe. So there you go. And on the inside flap here, you have a QR code, which is scanned to watch the video and get the app, which is an installation video and then a how to connect to the app video as well. Because as we know, not everyone has time to read instructions. Sometimes it's better to just watch them. One thing that seems quite obvious to talk about is the actual installation of these thermostats. Is it quick? Is it easy? Are you going to need loads of extra tools? On the whole, the answer is quite positive for this selection. I mean, they all have slightly different nuances and little differences in their own right for the installation, but they're all pretty good. I'll dive into them now. Where I want to start is the Heatmiser Neo and the ProWarm IQ. Now, both of them, the faceplate is held on with what's called a captive screw, which you can see just underneath there. And this is just one simple screw, so if I grab a screwdriver like that, and we'll go for the ProWarm, but they'll both be very, very similar, if not the same inside. And it's just a case of unscrewing it there. The next one I want to talk about is WarmUp's thermostat. Now, WarmUp's thermostat is interesting because it comes in the box in your two parts, the faceplate and the backplate. So you don't have to sort of take it off because it's already off, and you've got your slots for the screws there to go into the back box. And when you clip this on, some people take this out of the box straight away and think, wow, what a sort of thin thermostat, that's crazy. How is that possible? It's not, it's got clips on together, which I'll show you in a second. But it is nice. I do actually really like the outside of this one. Anyway, connect this up to the wall, and then you've got the clips just in there, and it clips on just like that. And they're very firm clips, they're nice and strong. That thermostat is definitely not going anywhere. However, the drawback to this is, you can see there's a little gap just in there. If you were to try and take this faceplate off again, what you would do, or what I have known people to do, is grab a flathead, and you just want to basically get in that gap and just sort of lever it off. But I don't know, I mean, I'm already putting a little mark in this gap. You're going to scratch it to death. You're in risk of scratching this bit, as is the drawback with having sort of the nice polished finish. So if you do need to take it back off to make any adjustments, or if there's any technical problem, or if you forgot to scan this QR code, then you do have that to consider. But on the whole, as it comes separate in the box, quite an easy installation. I won't clip that back on, actually. I'll leave that like that. Now, Timo has got what's called a push fit faceplate. It's one of our new things that we've developed for this thermostat. So you have, as normal, to screw into the back box there, up into the wall, but then it's just a case of putting the outer casing on, and then you line up the prongs and push in, and that's it, you're done. One of the most frustrating things, certainly for an installer, is being called back to a site for a faulty connection. However, I have to say, all of these thermostats, the terminals are pretty strong, and they give you a pretty good electrical connection. Sometimes some of the cheaper sort of lower end thermostats, the threads can be a bit dodgy on these screws, or the openings themselves. You basically get a loose connection when you wire it up. If you're an installer, you're going to get called back to site because your thermostat's not working. If you're a homeowner, your thermostat's not working. So one thing I did notice is that WarmUp have two different sized terminal screws for your live and your neutral wires, and then for your sensor probe they have different size gaps, and they're also, one's a flathead, so slightly frustrating that you need two separate screwdrivers, although most of you are going to have one of each to hand. So yeah, that's something to note, but all good connections. You won't have any problems with the wiring with any of these. Moving on to some actual features of these thermostats, the first thing I want to talk about is AMP, or average market price. This is basically what you can expect to pay for the base thermostat straight out of the box, ex VAT. Coming in on the lower end, we have the ProWarm IQ Series. You can pick one of these up for about £77. Next, the Heatmiser Neo. These go for about £89, although you do need an additional Neo hub for some of the features, which I will come back to. Timo from ThermoSphere. This goes for about £99 on average, and then WarmUp on the higher end, the Element comes in at about £125. Going back to the Heatmiser Neo, if you add the Neo hub, which is a Wi-Fi hub which expands your system, connects all devices, it can put the cost up to as much as £210. So we'd then have it all the way up over on this side. But that's roughly how the AMP breaks down. Something to note, AMP is just an average that we've pulled from online sources. Your local reseller might sell this unit for slightly more or slightly less depending on where you are, who they are, etc. Next, let's talk about the warranties of the thermostats. Now, ProWarm and Heatmiser both offer a 2-year warranty on their units. WarmUp offers a 3-year warranty, and Timo from thermoSphere as standard offers a 5-year warranty. Now, if you install the WarmUp Element with WarmUp underfloor heating and register it online, they'll offer a 12-year limited warranty, which would put it up here. But as standard, you have 2, 3, and 5 years warranty on these thermostats. Next, thermostat connectivity. Now, the Heatmiser Neo Stat straight out the box is a basic programmable thermostat. You need the Neo hub, which is the Wi-Fi hub that I referenced earlier, in order to connect this to any smartphone or app via Wi-Fi. All of these other thermostats come connectable to Wi-Fi as standard, but only one of them can also connect via Bluetooth, which is the Timo. The reason this is useful for installers is because if you're on a job site where Wi-Fi hasn't been set up yet, or the Wi-Fi is down for whatever reason, you can still connect via Bluetooth and go about your business. You don't have to get called back again after the Wi-Fi has been set up. Next, let's talk about energy monitoring. The ProWarm IQ and the WarmUp Element both have features in-app where if you put in what system you have, it will spit out a basic estimate of energy consumption. However, the Timo will automatically record, monitor and display real-time energy consumption in-app for any connected heater. This is brilliant for energy-conscious homeowners. Now, temperature sensors. All of these thermostats have a built-in ambient temperature sensor, as expected. All of these thermostats also connect to an external floor sensor, as expected. These 3 thermostats have the option to connect to an additional external floor sensor, but it's only Timo and Heatmiser which are compatible with multiple floor sensors from most manufacturers. This makes these 2 ideal for upgrading or replacing your customers' thermostats. The Timo and the Neo stack can both be put into relay mode. This means they can switch any 230-volt device like a towel rail. ProWarm also have something similar. They don't specifically say that they have relay mode, but they have something called hot water time clock, which is basically the same thing but for hot water applications only. 2 of these thermostats have in-app tech support, the Timo and the WarmUp Element. What this means is the homeowner can go into the app and grant access to the company's in-house tech support team. The team can then go into the thermostat and set up any heating schedules, check settings, troubleshoot, do anything like that. And what that means for the installer is as soon as you have installed this thermostat, your job's done. Now, it wouldn't be a thermoSphere video if I didn't talk about some things that only Timo can do. Direct link, zero cross technology, and overheat and overload protection. One of the unique safety features of Timo is the overheat and overload protection. What this basically means is it will detect and respond to any overheating scenario or any overload fault and switch itself off. Another feature unique to Timo is direct link. What this means is no matter how many Timos you have in the property, you can control them all from one unit. This is great for the installer because no matter how many you're installing, you only have to set up the one. And it's good for the homeowner because they can control the entire house's heating from just one device. The last thing to talk about for Timo is zero cross technology. This is another unique safety feature for Timo, and what it means is that the relay is only going to switch when the AC voltage hits 0. In basic terms, your relay is going to last a lot longer, and it's how thermoSphere can offer the 5-year warranty on the thermostat. It's a much safer way for the homeowner to control their heating. To finish off this unbiased review of thermostats, I was trying to think of a way to basically say I think Timo's the best, but without saying it and getting in trouble, getting sued. But I can't think of anything, so buy it, install it, let me know what you think for yourself. Let me know if you're going to buy it off the back of this video and install it. Let me know if you've already installed one. Let me know how you think it stacks up to any other thermostats you've installed before. There'll be a whole list of all the benefits of Timo and the other thermostats in the description, so have a read of that if you're interested. And as always, like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.